You're listening to the Spark Radio Network. Radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000, my heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Whoa! Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Now get sad again.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? America Off the Rails has been declared a conservatives-only safe zone. Only conservatives allowed from this point forward. Any liberal, socialist, butthurt, hippie, tree huggers, please exit the facility immediately. Again, attention please. America Off the Rails is now designated as a conservative safe zone only. All butthurt, tree hugging, hippie, free to be you and me types exit the facility immediately. Thank you.
We will keep this promise to the American people. If you like your doctor, you will be able to keep your doctor, period. If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan, period.
This is the most transparent administration in history. Not even a smidgen of corruption.
Fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. What difference at this point does it make?
If you got a business, you didn't build that.
Welcome to the face. Welcome to the face of the new democracy. Don't expect us to admit a mistake. We're paying off election.
Keep on doing what you do, Rick. You're my favorite host.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. You're listening to America Off the Rails with your host, Rick Robinson.
All right, well, good evening, folks. This is Rick Robinson. I'm the host of America Off the Rails, and I'm back with you after a week off. And my, oh my, did it seem like I was only gone for 5 minutes or what? Well, I know maybe not for you guys, but for me, after doing this for nearly 6 years with almost no extended time off, taking nearly a full week off was not only needed, but honestly, I almost feel like... You know, everybody talks about, doing things and it's always like riding a bike. Yeah, doing radio is not one of those things. after a week off, it feels like I've been off for like 6 months. So we do have a lot to talk about tonight. For those of you who cannot see the title, because maybe you're listening from either the website, k98talk.org, or you're listening through iHeart or one of the other plethora of places that the show can be heard on demand. The title for tonight is Donald on the Trail, Hillary Server, and Broken Promises Are Coming. So we have, and I'm not going to play it right now, so don't get your hopes up, but we do have never before heard footage of Donald during one of his campaign trail speeches, thanks to Jason DeWilkins and Eric Williams. We also have a day in the life of Hillary Server coming up at the after the bottom of the hour. We're actually going to start breaking up the show into a bit of a more segmented format, because at this point I feel like there's 3 points of focus. 1, how much I don't like Donald Trump. 2, how much I don't like Hillary Clinton. And 3, how much I do like Austin Peterson. So I think we're going to start basically segmenting out the show, at least on Mondays, and kind of take them in that order. Trump first, then the Hildebeest, and then Austin Peterson. Because for those of you who may not know, I have actually recently changed my party affiliation. For the first time in a long time, my state actually, for this election cycle at least, is recognizing the Libertarian Party, which couldn't have happened at a better time, in my opinion, since the GOP has gone completely crazy. And no, I don't say that lightly. Actually, there will be a piece that I am putting out on American Action News probably at some point later this week. It is about to get shipped off to an editor friend of mine who likes to look things over before I publish them, just to make sure I don't look like a complete idiot. Spoken word is one thing, written is another. I do want second opinions on the written form, so don't judge me there. But anyway, that will actually articulate, hopefully a little bit better, exactly how I feel about this election cycle, but I thought we'd kind of touch on that a little bit tonight as well, because I feel like the Republican Party is basically imploded. I think they became so worried about trying to make sure that they became the all-inclusive party and becoming a bigger tent party that they failed to realize that the bigger tent they were moving everyone into was a three-ring circus. And I think we are all paying the price. And the thing that is scary, and we'll actually get to that here in a little bit, is the front-runner of the Republican Party, the now standard-bearer, without standards, is one Mr. Donald Trump, and he really just kind of says whatever he wants, whenever he wants to say it, and it doesn't really matter what he says, because if you listen to him 5 minutes later, he says the exact opposite, but you can't call him on it because nobody believes anything the media says anymore, because we have become so partisan that there's only a few media sites that people will listen to. If you're on the left, it's more mainstream sources. If you're on the right, at least used to be right, then it's more like Fox News, Breitbart, and Drudge, but Breitbart has gone insane, Drudge right along with them, and Fox might as well rename themselves the Trumpeter News Network, because they really don't do anything but talk about all Trump all day, all the time. No matter what he says, no matter how negative he is, no matter how many things he backtracks on, nobody calls them on it. But the thing about it is there are plenty of places that are. And I've seen this play out on social media, even while I was on vacation. I still hung out with you guys on social media because, hey, you guys are my fans. You take the time to listen to me. You take the time to interact with me. Some of you are not my fans, and you have made that abundantly clear over the last several months, especially now that I will not fall in line and support the Donald. But that being said, one of the things that I have seen play out over and over and over again, and some of these are from new friends that I've been making through social media, where they'll be talking with someone who is an avid Trump supporter, and they will post link after 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 link. And I said it that way on purpose because I actually watched this for like 30 minutes on a Saturday. It was link after link after link after link of everything that he said, everything that he's done, and how many different times he's flipped on it. And all they kept saying is, I'm not opening that because I know it's not true, because they just don't like Donald. I'm not opening that because they don't like Donald. I'm not opening that because they don't like Donald. Look, how are we supposed to make people understand what the truth actually is if they're no longer willing to see the truth? That's my question. And it's an honest question, because I honestly at this point do not know what to do. Now, before we get into the Donald segment, I do want to mention that this Friday will be probably the third and final attempt to get some Trump supporters to contact the show. We have done this now multiple times. We actually had Dan with us on not last Friday, but the Friday before, and did a full hour where we gave out the call-in number for 45 minutes out of the hour of the show, and had one caller who may or may not have been Mr. Donald Trump, or what was that? Barron? Nah, it was the other one. I can't remember the other names that he uses. It's like I said, I took a week off. Come on, give me a break. But anyway, so we will be doing that again this coming Friday, probably for the last time, to see if we can get anyone to actually call into the show and tell us why it is that they're a Trump supporter. Now, I want you to understand something. I'm not doing this to attack you. I'm not even going to be trying to change your mind. I want you to change mine. Because one thing that I will tell you is if I could do it, I would honestly just swig the Kool-Aid back and join the party, because where I am right now is not fun. I want you guys to understand that. For all of you that are watching this play out on social media, and you're hearing those of us that are part of the Never Trump movement on radio and TV and in print and in social media, wherever we are, I want you to understand this is not something that we do for fun. Trust me, if I could just turn off everything that I believe in, chug the Kool-Aid, and just roll back in the eyes and just enjoy the ride till Trump came to power, then that would be exactly what I could do and would do if I had that capability. But what I don't understand is all of these people that basically can just turn off their critical thinking skills. And I'm not trying to say that to be mean, and I'm not trying to say that people are dumb. I'm seriously looking at this as an outsider, looking at all of the different things that you can see that contradict everything that he says and everything that he does, and yet you that are avidly for him are still for him no matter what. I swear, it's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It's like as soon as you... remember, I'm the guy that latched on to Trump at first, so I'm honestly, I guess, pretty lucky that I'm not one of the Trumpinators, because at first, I really liked what he was doing, and I've said this before. I liked the fact that he could say whatever he wanted to say and do whatever he wanted to do, and nobody could really touch him. But the problem is, once he figured out he could say whatever he wanted to say and do whatever he wanted to do and nobody could touch him, all that did was make it progressively worse. He has no off switch. He is the vanilla Obama. And I've been saying that for months. I've also been saying that Donald Trump has run as a caricature of the worst things about the Republican Party. All of the things that the left has always believed the Republican Party was, he ran as. And we didn't shout it down. We didn't tell him, no, man, you got to go. None of that. Most of you embraced him. While he's making us look, or making you, because I'm no longer one of you anymore, making you look like you are everything that the Democratic Party and the leftists have said you were for the last 40 years, and you didn't fight it, you embraced it. So again, this is not an easy place for me to be. I want you to understand that this time, 4 years ago, I was exactly where you are right now. I had libertarian friends that were looking at me like I was insane because I was still willing to back Romney. But let me explain something to you that is vastly different between today and then. Romney was a good man, and is a good man at his core. While I was not a fan of mass care was not a federal program. Mass care was a state program, and as such, fell completely in line with the 10th Amendment. So I could put that aside because I am a states' rights guy. I am also a constitutional guy. If it's constitutional, I really can't say too much about it. It's one of the reasons why I don't say too much about abortion. As much as I am opposed to abortion, and as much as I personally think it should be completely illegal, I do fully understand that the genie is never going back into the bottle. What I want to have happen, and what most of the pro-life movement wants to have happen, is get it back to the point where it is safe, legal, and rare. Because it is not rare. Period. Hasn't been for decades. All right, so we're already 15 minutes into the show, and this bit's going to take a second. So I want to make sure that we get this queued up, because then I have a few things I wanted to talk about. This is actual super secret, double top secret audio from a recent Trump campaign trail speech, and it's brought to you by Eric Williams and Jason DeWilkins. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the speech.
shut up, you guys. Seriously. Let's get this done, okay? Let's do this thing. I'm busy, okay? I'm really busy. I'll say this. I'm not a politician, okay? And that's probably why I'm doing so well. But I gotta say, this campaigning thing's tough. It really is. It's very busy. Listen, I'm so busy this morning. Listen to this. This morning, I had Paul Manafort take a dump for me. Yeah, I had... listen, I didn't have time. I know, it sounds crazy. Listen, and nobody poops better than me, okay? Believe me. Nobody. People come to me all the time. They say, Donald, you poop better than anybody I've ever seen. They call me the poop machine, okay? I get it. But listen, it's either that or I miss calling into Fox and Friends every morning like I do. I don't have time. But I surround myself with good people. Paul poops better than anybody I've ever met. I surround listen, good people, good poopers. That's what I do, okay? Listen, but I think I'm going to have a lot more free time, okay, coming up soon. We got this thing in the bag. Old Lion Ted has run back to his wife, and, her Goldman Sachs donor, all these people. And Kasich, I mean, what's he doing? Is he back in Ohio eating pancakes? You see this guy? This guy eats worse. I've never seen anybody eat so bad. And the only thing worse than the way he eats is his campaign. It was terrible. It was awful. Incredibly bad. Incredible. Listen, the polls have us up by 80 points in California. And people love us out there. They call me California Don. That's what they call me. The people, they say, Donald, we love you so much. I love them too. I was thinking about owning a winery out there. I love California so much. They're great. The people are great. I love California. Great people. Great state. What about Crooked Hillary? I haven't even started on Hillary. Hillary and Bill, they got a lot of money, okay? Not as much money as me, but they have a lot of money. Why don't you just go off to an assisted living place, okay? Leave the stuff to the experts, the tough stuff. Let the guys who know what we're doing handle the country. You go back to being crooked and over and eating pudding or whatever you do. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Look, I love old people too, but frankly, you leave the tough stuff to the experts. That's what we do. We're going to make America great again. That's right. We're going to do it, okay? I don't know how, and I don't know when, and I don't know why. But listen, frankly, we're going to make America great again. This I can tell you. And after we defeat Grandma Crooked Hillary, we're going to make America so great. It's going to make you nauseous, okay? You're going to have winning cough, okay? You're going to go to the doctor and just winning. You're going to be so sick of winning, okay? You're going to be so sick of how America is now great. It's so great. You're going to be sick of it. I promise you. Believe me. But really quick, the reason why I wanted everybody here today, I want to talk to you about the Electoral College, okay? I mean, this thing is just rigged. It's awful. Have you seen this mess? Talk about a rigged system. The Democrats have got to fix. Look at Bernie Sanders. He's doing really well. No one cares because Hillary's got the whole thing rigged. It's in her favor. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to sue the Electoral College. That's right. We're going to take the Electoral College to court, and we're going to win. We're going to win. Okay, I know a lot about college. Okay, now look, Trump University does very well. People love it. People say it's the best education they've ever got in their life. Frankly, nobody knows college better than me. And this college sucks. It's awful. It's terrible. That's why I'm suing them. And we're going to win lawsuits. I don't settle. We win. Listen, I know I've been rambling, okay? That's how a lot of my speeches are. I shoot from the hip, okay? I just come out and say what... listen, get that guy out of here. In the third row, get him out. He's waving the flag with the snake on it. I don't even know what that is. That thing is stupid, okay? Who designed that flag? It's awful. It's terrible. I don't even get it. Get him out of here. Seriously, we don't have time for that. I gotta go. Listen, it's been great talking to you people. Thank you for coming out. I'm going to be on TV and radio for the next 23 hours. Plus, I'd love to stay in chat. Sean Hannity wants to call, okay? And I got to make time for him, okay? He's a good friend. You guys have been an amazing crowd, okay? Absolutely amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks. You've been great.
All right, folks, and that was never before heard footage from Donald Trump on the campaign speech trail. Sorry, apparently the crowd was more enthusiastic than I was. So at this point, I just want to remind everybody that was brought to you by Eric Williams of BarbedWireSatire.com and the man of 1,000 voices, Mr. Jason DeWilkins, who not only does a really good Trump, but also a pretty good Obama. We've got some of his stuff in there, too. Sorry, that bit kind of choked me up a little bit. I love the part where he starts talking about having to go because Sean Hannity needs to cuddle. I'm just saying. That actually got me. I was actually taking a drink of coffee, and I've heard it like 3 times, and it still gets me anyway. But anyway, so again, that was the newest creation, joint endeavor of Mr. Eric Williams of BarbedWireSatire.com, who now does not only the Hillary's email bit with me, but now this one, if we can keep it going, as well as the weekend update with JD and Stacy on their Sunday edition of Game On. So he is now, well, I mean, we might as well just say it at this point, we've adopted him. I don't know if he wanted us to, but we've adopted him. So he's kind of stuck with us now. But yeah, so anyway. So we had a little bit of fun at Donald's expense. Now it's time to actually talk about some of the things that Donald has been saying that are pretty annoying. Actually, one of them was kind of what we've been talking about for a while now, and it's the fact that he just kind of says what he wants whenever he wants to. And this is actually one of the most recent things that he had to say about all of his positions.
Congressman Chris Collins from New York endorsed you. He's a member of your congressional leadership team. He's against mass deportation of illegal immigrants. He's against a temporary ban on Muslims. He says that when you become the nominee, and then his idea when you become president, that you are going to be more nuanced than you are on the trail. What do you say to that?
Well, we're going to see. Look, everything, honestly, is going to be up, and we have to negotiate. I can't make these decisions myself. We have Congress.
So you're open to moving.
We have to deal with a lot of people. I mean, I can't just take executive orders like Obama, and it's me and lots of congressmen and lots of senators and lots of everything. So I would say that certain things will be changed, certain things will be stayed exactly the same.
All right, so there you have him, folks, stating that basically at this point now everything is negotiable. All right, so I don't want to sound too much like I'm giving him a pass, because anybody with half a brain knows that the president isn't really supposed to be the one that does everything all on his own. But I want you to notice a very distinct difference between what he said there and what he's been saying all along. And I quote, "When I say I'm going to get something done, folks, it's what I'm going to do." We went from that to everything is negotiable. We went from I'm going to build a wall and have Mexico pay for it to, well, the wall and our immigration policy are mostly going to be virtual. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't there other candidates saying exactly that same thing, and he lambasted them by talking about how we needed to build the physical wall when everybody started talking about being able to use technology to streamline immigration and to basically build a virtual wall to make sure that only the people that we could get in, actually that we wanted to get in, were able to get in. That was when he started talking about the physical wall. But now that he's managed to tear them apart and leave the Republican Party in shambles, he is now saying the same things that they've been saying all along. Except now that he's the one saying them, they're the best ideas ever. They're the biggest ideas ever. They're the hugest ideas ever. Why didn't any other candidate say what Donald Trump said about using the virtual wall and the virtual immigration programs? They did. You just weren't listening because you were too busy lapping up anything that Donald put in front of your face. And this is what has me disturbed, or had me disturbed. I have to admit, I have found a ray of hope, and we'll actually share that with you in a moment. But I gotta say, it's one of the reasons why I took a week off. I haven't actually taken an entire week off of radio since I started this nearly 6 years ago. I haven't, because there would be, even if I tried to take some time off, there would be something that would happen or a story that would break, and I would have to come on and I would have to share with you my thoughts on it. But I have to tell you, after spending nearly 6 years investing every single second that I had in my spare time, because folks, when I started doing this, I wasn't making any money. I still really don't make much. I'm not Sean Hannity. I'm not Rush Limbaugh. But I do eke out a little bit of money from this now because I've been doing it long enough that I've gotten people's attention. But the simple fact of the matter is it's still 110,000% a labor of love. And when the party that you invested all of this time in and all of this energy in, and you tried to build up and you tried to show them clear differences between what you thought this party stood for and what everybody else stood for, and now you're being told by that same party because you will not fall in line, because you do not support the decisions they're making, that you no longer matter, to get on the back of the bus, to get under the bus, to get ready for the gas chambers, to get ready for the ovens because we're coming for you, because you're a race traitor, because you're a traitor to your country. I have news for you, and I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying it. Every single one of you that have sold out your belief system in exchange for this Chris Matthews-style tingle, not only are you a bunch of pansies, but you are the traitors. You are now doing exactly what we watched the Obama bots do for 8 years. 8 years. We have watched this play out on the other side of the aisle, and we have made fun of them. We have talked about them. We have looked at them and said, I do not understand these people and how they can completely just turn everything off. And now, here we sit, doing it on our side of the aisle, because we now have a populist, nationalist candidate. Look, I'm as big of a fan of America and American culture as the next guy. I understand what nationalism means when it's not taken to the nth degree. I know what the everyday textbook definition of nationalism is. And it's not a bad thing. To have pride in your country and pride in where you come from is not a bad thing. Until it gets taken to this degree. When we have become so segregated, so separated, and so categorized from one another that the only people that we honestly think of as true Americans anymore are the same ones that feel exactly the same that we do, that is where we have a problem, and that is where we are today. We are watching it play out in front of our eyes. You can go onto social media anytime you want to, tell somebody that you're pro-Trump and watch what happens. Tell somebody that you're not pro-Trump and watch what happens. And look, I'm just as guilty of it as everybody else is, but that's because it's an important fight. I'm not trying to dissuade anyone that is a firm Trump believer, and I've said that online, I've said that on air, and I've said it in print, and I'm about to say it in print again as soon as this new article posts. I am not trying to change the mind of those of you that can look yourselves in the mirror every single day and say Donald Trump is the person that I think can save this country. If you can honestly do that, then you and I have nothing to talk about as far as your choice, because I don't agree with it, but I still support it because it's your right to make the choice. I'm not trying to reach those of you that are firmly in the Trump camp, because there's probably nothing I could do to change your mind anyway. The ones that I've been trying to reach and the ones that I talk, then the reason I post the things that I post on social media are to try to get to the ones that are not firmly in the camp. The ones that are holding their nose, because I have to tell you, again, 4 years ago, I held my nose and I voted for Romney because I didn't agree with everything that he said, but I still knew in my heart that he was a good man, and I thought he was the best choice of who was left. I cannot say that today. And again, even if you're holding your nose, if you are honestly looking at all of the different things that are being said about Donald Trump, all of the different ways that he has backtracked on what he said, changed his mind on what he was going to do, attacked people, belittled people, threatened people on social media, and you can still pull the lever for him, then I'm not trying to change your mind either. But I have to tell you, if you are feeling that way and you haven't made up your mind, someone else, well, I'm not going to read their name, has made up their mind. This is from the Communications Chair for the Young Republicans National Federation. To my dear friends at the Young Republican National Federation, regretfully, I am resigning from my position as Communications Chair with the YRNF. With the practically fulfilled nomination of Donald Trump as our presidential candidate, I can no longer continue to carry out the duties of this position. My principles will not allow it. For now, I will continue to serve as international outreach and in my South Carolina chair position. I want to continue to work in the Republican cause, supporting conservative ideals and helping to elect down-ballot candidates. I call on the YR leaders to prayerfully consider their own positions. There is no easy answer to the situation our party is in, but I believe we would do much more for our country by standing together against Donald Trump. We have been told for years how we are the future of the party. This is our opportunity to seize that future. But we have instead decided to uphold a man who does not represent us or our views, a man that has belittled war heroes, explicitly stated misogynist beliefs, relied on intimidation of minorities, insulted our international allies, rewarded violence, championed divisive rhetoric, and proved completely uneducated in conservative fiscal policy. I cannot participate in that. When each of us decided to get involved in politics, we all hoped to change our country, our state, and our nation for the better. We sit on the edge of history, now a choice to be made. As the head of our national communications, my voice is part of our message, and I am intrinsically tied to it. Therefore, I must step down. I cannot live with being seen as supporting a candidate I truly feel tramples on all of our values. Even if we as an organization focused exclusively on congressional candidates, we would still be seen as complicit. It would be impossible to resist the pressure to push for a straight R ticket when we campaign. The role of the Communications Committee is to reach our members and the public with our positions in support of our parent party. Unfortunately, the RNC has decided to embrace this candidate as our standard bearer. So every press release, every tweet that does not denounce Trump will be seen as capitulating to the GOP. Our social media accounts have already seen messages from people announcing their support of Donald Trump and invoking our organization. I cannot be part of that, no matter how loud I am in my renouncement of Trump. My title will still betray me. I want no part of a racist, fascist, hateful presidency. I joined the leadership team to change the game headed into this election. I wanted young Republicans to be part of the conversation about the White House, to be seen for all the hard work we put in year after year to elect Republicans, but I never could have imagined this outcome, and I cannot use my skills or implement the plan I laid out for 2016 without feeling like I am losing my soul. Many of you may choose to support Trump in order to beat Hillary Clinton. That is your decision. For me, I cannot support a candidate who endorses bigotry and lawlessness. With a minimal understanding of our fiscal policies, long associated with our party, even if he does have an R after his name. I could not later tell my children I did the right thing. Instead, I would have to live with allowing my politics to be corrupted. I cannot stand by and continue to write newsletters and posts that so strongly conflict with my personal values. I will not surrender my beliefs. This is not the way forward. I will not quietly fall in line. I will not give up my principles. I will always be Never Trump. Now, again, I'm not going to give out her name. I know she does all over Twitter and on Facebook and everywhere else, but I haven't spoken to her, and I did not get permission to share that, so I will not be giving out her name. But I have to say she has said rather succinctly everything that I've been tweeting about for the last several months, and it's exactly how I feel. Look, there has to come a time that you have to decide, am I going to stand up for what I believe in, or am I going to fall in line? And again, it would be so simple, so much easier, if I could just throw everything down, pick up the red banner, and march off to war. I've done it time and time before. I can't do it this time. To me, there is absolutely no difference between the two front-runner candidates. Both parties have elected a standard bearer without standards. One of them, that doesn't really surprise me. The Republican Party, we have always been the party of values, the party of hope, the party of liberty. And we are now the party of hate, the party of misogyny, the party of racism. And I cannot and will not, in any way, shape, or form, be a part of it ever again. All right, so on that note, folks, we are actually past the bottom of the hour. I have got to take a break because I went on a bit of a rant and kind of forgot that I need to pay some bills. We will be right back. You are listening to America Off the Rails. This is Rick Robinson.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members or their families, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to keep them secure for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Join us at findwwp.org.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of a short story through to line edits of a full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
The treatment doesn't get any better than what you receive at St. Jude. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
The staff of K98 Talk and the Spark Radio Network is proud to announce that our very own Rowdy Rick Robinson has been selected as one of the top conservative talk show hosts in the nation for his program America Off the Rails. Again, congratulations to Rowdy Rick Robinson for a job well done and another reason to stay connected to K98 Talk and the Spark Radio Network.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov because fire is everyone's fight.
All right, folks, we are back. We are live. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. We are already well into the bottom of the hour, so at this point, I do wanting to change gears. As promised, at least on Mondays, we're going to start doing things in a bit more of a segment format. First Trump, then Hillary, then probably Austin Peterson or Libertarian candidate of interest. So far, Austin Peterson's the one that's got my attention, but it's only because at this point I'm tired of always talking about the people that I'm opposed to. I want to start doing something to elevate people that I actually could get behind. Austin Peterson is one of the only Libertarian candidates that I've been able to find who not only is currently running for president, but also happens to be pro-life. Now, I'm not going to say there are things in his platform that I completely agree with, but I think I could get behind him a heck of a lot easier than I could either a Trump or a Hillary presidency. But without further ado, as we usually do every Monday night, since we are changing gears and going to spend a few minutes talking about the Hildebeest, we do have...
You've got mail.
All right, folks, you know what that sound means. It's time for a day in the life of Hillary's server, so let's get it going.
She's a very slinky girl, the kind you don't want for Commander-in-Chief. She will never let her guard down, says it's her turn to be leader. Oh, girl. She likes her emails to be secret. She says it's none of your damn business. When she makes her move to conceal, it's Miss Half-Time. She's never done no wrong. Oh, no. That girl is pretty...
Dear Rick, hey, it's me, Server. Hey, man, look, I understand everybody needs some time off, but next time can you warn me before I'm just sending out emails that anybody on your staff gets? I mean, come on. These things are important to me. Why would you just give them out to anybody? Look, I know that Jess has been doing a lot of work for you, but I only told you that I would give them to you. So just from now on, just you. Nah, I'm just kidding. She did an all right job, but I mean, come on. You know, first you just kind of move me around all the time. You don't say anything to me. You never email me back, by the way. I mean, I email you once a week. Never once do I get a thank you. Nothing. It's just you take my emails, you play with my emotions, and that's it. I don't find out when you're going on vacation. You don't talk to me. You don't write. You don't call. Nothing. All right. Anyway, I'm emotional. Can you tell? Anyway, so as promised, here are some of the emails that I have been able to uncover for this week. So here you go. From HDR at ClintonMail.com to Maureen Dowd. Subject, thank you. Maureen, thank you so much for the write-up in the Times over the weekend where you compared my campaign to the Queen of the United States to the Bataan Death March. I love that. As I recall, the Bataan Death March was from the early 70s and was a gay pride parade where the marchers threw batons in the air and called for death to homophobia. That's how I see my campaign. We are not going to rest. We are going to march on. And we are going to make our voices heard. Change isn't easy, but with you and most of the media in my back pocket, it can be as joyful as the Bataan Death March. And I'm pretty sure I'm butchering that, but anyway. Thanks again, Hillary, from HDRClintonMail.com to Sydney Blumenthal. Subject, advice. Sid, needs some advice. That damn Clinton cash book and the movie are causing me grief again. I saw in the media today that they've discovered I made $21 million for my speeches over the last 2 years. And some here think this could be problematic for me. What's the big deal? My standard fees are $100,000 to $500,000 per, or $1,000 to $5,000 per syllable, because what I have to say is of such great importance. I mean, what do ordinary Americans charge for giving a speech? I think my rates are highly competitive. How do you think we should spend this? Thanks a bunch, Hillary. From HDRClintonMail.com to Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Subject, Terry McAuliffe. Debs, I guess you've seen in the press today that Terry is being investigated by the FBI for campaign contributions related to our foundation. Poor bastard. I can't begin to imagine how difficult that must be, knowing you were being investigated by the FBI. I know I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. The funny part, though, is that the DOJ is also looking into his actions with their public integrity unit. They don't know Terry very well. He and integrity don't mix well. LOL. Hoping for the best for my crooked friend, Hillary.
She's a very sleazy girl, the kind you don't want for Commander-in-Chief. She will never let her guard down. Let's get her off the streets. Blow, Billy!
Alright, folks, that was A Day in the Life of Hillary Server, again brought to you by Eric Williams of barbedwiresatire.com. If you like what he's doing with us here on K98 Talk, make sure you check out his website as often as possible. Again, that is barbedwiresatire.com. Alright, so at this point, we are going to change gears for just a second, and I'm just going to say this because I'm tired of being told this over and over and over again. I am not a Hillary supporter. I do not like the woman. As far as I'm concerned, she should change her orange pantsuit for an orange jumpsuit. My issue is I see, again, no difference between the two frontrunners, but it doesn't mean that I support her. And the fact that we have become so binary in our election system that we honestly believe that by not voting for one, that basically should count as a vote for the other. Well, then, I'm not voting for either one of them, so does that mean somehow I'm voting for both of them? That is how stupid this has become. Look, I don't support Hillary. I've told you over and over again, time and time again, that I think that she needs to be held accountable for Benghazi, but I don't think it should stop with her. She was the Secretary of State, but you have to understand there is still someone at the very top of the administration who decided to go to bed. My state is doing something that a lot of folks don't agree with. I wish they would have done it over Benghazi. They have actually filed a petition to have Obama impeached over the bathroom situation. I don't think it's going to do much good. I don't see the point in doing it 8 months from the time that he's going to be standing down anyway. But I understand what it is that they're trying to do, and they're trying to get people to the point where they understand exactly how far this administration has overreached with their authority. But if we were going to impeach this administration, I really wish we would have done it with something with some teeth. Because there were at least 4 people that should have been held accountable for Benghazi. She happens to be one of them. I think Rice, when she went out and did her lap about the video, became culpable. I think Obama, when he decided to go to bed, and from little bits and pieces I've been able to uncover, left Valerie Jarrett to make a lot of the decisions. Can I confirm that? No, but I've heard it from multiple sources. I have actually heard from a source that told me they wish to remain nameless that Valerie Jarrett was the one that basically issued the stand-down order on his behalf. Remember the stand-down orders that everybody was talking about from the command groups where everybody was telling them they couldn't do anything, and then one of the commanders was like, screw it, I'm going to do it anyway, and he got relieved by one of his junior officers because of the stand-down order that was given? I can't tell you this with 1,000% certainty, but I have been told by a source that I trust that it wasn't Obama that gave that order because he was already asleep. It was Valerie Jarrett. But this is the problem that we're dealing with. No matter which of these two, whether it be him or her, get into the White House, we're going to see a continuation of the Obama policies. I believe that 1,000%. I hope I'm wrong, especially if Trump is the one that gets the nod. But I do know that under Hillary, we're done. And under Trump, we are just as likely as done. That's why I've been fighting so long and hard to actually try to show the country a distinct difference between the two parties. And all of us that have been fighting so hard have gotten shafted. But there are very distinct reasons why I don't like Hillary. She lies as much as he does. They are both pathological liars. Pathological liars. If you can watch the number of times they each flip-flop on anything and everything, because they're both so busy saying anything that they need people to hear to get them elected, then you would realize that the only thing they care about is holding on to that absolute power. And it's the same thing that I've been trying to say all along. Either one of them with that type of power is going to become extremely dangerous. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And for the first time in my lifetime, we are a 50-50 shot away of giving the nuclear launch codes and classified material to two equally dangerous pathological liars with narcissistic tendencies. And people tell me that I have to pick one. So you're telling me that I should either flip the switch that's going to drop the trap door with the noose around my neck, or I should flip the switch that's going to turn the electricity on the noose that's around my neck and fry me. Those are the choices that you're giving me. Those are the choices that you, the voters, have given our nation. You have given us, if we stick with your two-party system and the dichotomy that it has become, you have now given us one of two options. We can die by hanging or die by electrocution. One may be a little slower than the other, but we're still dead. So no, for all of you that are shouting me down on Twitter and telling me that because I will not support Trump, I'm automatically supporting Hillary, you are full of crap. I do not, cannot, and will not support either one of them because in my definition of a presidential candidate, there is no difference between the two. They are both liars, they are both homicidal, they are both narcissistic, and they both have control issues. None of those things are good. And they're especially not good when you put whoever they are in front of the nuclear launch codes. All right, so as promised, with the last couple minutes we have of the show, I want to take just a moment to bring you to, hopefully to your attention, Mr. Austin Peterson. He is the Libertarian candidate or one of the Libertarian candidates for president. They are still running their primary cycle, so if you are going to be voting Libertarian, make sure that you do double check when the primaries are happening for them, because in my state, it was completely different. The main primaries were back in March. This one is in June. I still have to find out if I can technically vote in that one since I voted in the other primary already. I am a registered Libertarian, though, so I think I can actually go vote in that one now that I've changed my registration, but I really need to find that out. Look, again, Austin Peterson, I do not agree with everything that he says. He's for legalization. I really kind of am not, although I have to admit, after watching some family members go through some things with some of the lesser Schedule 1 narcotics, I honestly think some of it should just be legalized. I'm not for everything. But now that we have people that are creating basically artificial marijuana, and it's a million times worse than the stuff that we can grow, and more and completely addicting and actually causing people to do crazy, crazy things to make sure that they could get more of it. In some ways, I think if it was regulated a lot like alcohol, then I don't necessarily see an issue with it. I don't necessarily think it should go as far as it has in Colorado, because I do know of lots of bright packaging and fruity drinks and everything else that have been infused with it, and I don't think that sends a clear message to our youth. But hey, that's my conservative side still talking. I told you, I haven't abandoned that. I'm just at this point so completely disgusted with the GOP that I've cut ties. And right now, Austin Peterson is the closest I can find to someone that I can actually support in this election cycle, because he is pro-liberty, which so am I. He's pro-constitution, which so am I. He wants less government, completely in line with that. And he is pro-life, which so am I. Again, I'm not trying to shove my beliefs down anybody's throat, and as far as I'm concerned, there's not really ever any way to get the genie put back in the bottle, but at the same time, I do want it to be at least the definition of the Roe v. Wade decision, which was safe, legal, and rare. And I also want folks like Planned Parenthood to be watched a lot more closely, because, look, I understand that a lot of you did not agree with the footage that came out and said it was heavily edited, this, that, and the other. I'm going to tell you this, and it's just straight from the heart. If Planned Parenthood even did one time to an aborted child what was suggested in those videos, that was one time too many. And as far as I'm concerned, that means they should lose their funding. But what do I know? Apparently, I'm just an old, crazy, out-of-touch conservative guy who gets told on Twitter all the time that the Constitution is now just a moldy piece of paper and that I need to get with the times. For those of you saying that to me, rest assured that is never going to happen. The Constitution, in my estimation, is not some moldy piece of paper. It's not anything to be worshipped, but it is something to be respected, which, for those of you who don't understand that, revered is another word for respected. I actually got called out the other day on Twitter because I told someone that I revered the Constitution. But anyway, so on that note, folks, it is time for me to make my way out of here. It's been a pleasure sitting back in with you guys. It feels like it was a month off, not a week off. I'll be back with you live tomorrow night with the Jen and Rick Show with my co-host Jen. And until I see you, put down the remote, get off the couch, and get involved. Unless you're a Trump supporter, sit back down.
Everything you earn by breaking your backs, we're gonna redistribute when we make our pay tax. Hey, sit back down. Don't.
Screw you guys. I'm going home. Later.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov because fire is everyone's fight.
All right, folks, so I know I said I was out, but I just realized I did not do something. So for anybody who's still tuned in, and we're going to leave this part of the show because I've still got about a minute to spare anyway, don't forget this next Monday we are doing a Memorial Day special. If you are either involved in the military or know someone who was or have some stories about folks who were, make sure that you're reaching out to Jess at Jessie's POV at K98talk.org. and get those stories put together as quickly as you can so that we can make sure that we do make you a part of the first ever pretty much all weekend, all day long Memorial Day special. We will be running that stuff as often as possible all the way up through the Monday evening time frames because we do not want to preempt any live programming. But at this point, just as a reminder, Monday is the Memorial Day special, so if you have any stories of family members who were soldiers or friends who were soldiers and you want to make sure those stories get told, and make sure that you reach out to Jess and we can make that happen. And on that note, folks, I really am out of here now because I just realized I completely forgot and I wanted to make sure that I got that in there before we went off the air. So I will talk to you guys again tomorrow night. Bye again.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.